Hi, I'm at my old childhood home right now. I don't want to talk too loud because I don't want people to think I'm trespassing. Um, it's all overgrown and falling down, so nobody's lived here for a while. But here's a clothesline that showed up in one of my stories. It's all frayed and broken. Um, but I've been making these videos partly to talk about concepts of storytelling, but partly also for my semi-jokingly for my grandkids, but I don't assume anyone's really going to watch these except my family. So, I was in Winsboro, South Carolina, my hometown. I'm trying to do this relatively quickly, but also there's a storm coming. Um, but I was in Winsboro for my local community theater. They put on plays. I like to come support them. And I thought I'd swing by here, partly because a mystery novel I just wrote called The Upholstery Man, or I wrote a while ago called The Upholstery Man. There's one scene that I've been performing from that takes place right here, this spot. It's all grown. There's my house. It's all grown over. Um, but it takes place right here. Um, but it's about, there's a character named Melanie Geller who is based on my first girlfriend, and I'll leave her anonymous. But I'll make a quick point about storytelling. But my first girlfriend, I'll keep her anonymous, so don't drag her into it or anything. But from my perspective, what the information I got at the time was that she attempted suicide, and then she went into psychiatric treatment, and I didn't see her again for 13 years. When I saw her again 13 years later, right down the street, she said that wasn't true. So, but for 13 years, I've been writing about it. It's a pretty traumatic experience. None of my relationships have been anything but tragic, really. But that was a bad start, really. But my point about storytelling is that this is something I disagree with William S. Burroughs, who I've talked about as one of my heroes. He had arguably a much worse tragedy. He shot his wife in the head, and he said that was a demon he was trying to write his way out of. Which, I agree with him with most things, but I don't agree with that you write about horrible, horrible things in order to exercise them. I mean, that could be a consequence. And I might have to go back to this point later just because I don't want to stay out here too long. But that might be a consequence. So my first girlfriend, according to my perception, trying to kill herself is pretty traumatic. But I've written about it constantly, but I don't write about it in order to get rid of it, but to feel it again. And it's the sort of thing I would never wish on anyone. I wouldn't want to revisit, have that experience again. But it was an intense feeling, so I'm trying to dredge it back up and access it again. And that's that non-dualistic perspective on emotional experiences and stories, whether positive or negative. You measure it more by the intensity than the positivity or the negativity. And negative experiences can be more intense. I don't know if somebody's going to come arrest me or not. It's my childhood home, I swear. But anyway, the story in The Upholstery Man, she shows up as a character named Melanie Geller, who's very sassy and strong-willed and has all kinds of complexity to her character. She's just a character I love to work with. But part of her backstory is that her father hooks up a zip line in their backyard, and so I sort of transferred my story. Hooks up a zip line in their backyard from the treehouse, which is over there, entirely covered in woods right now. I think there are remnants of wood pieces over there to their clothesline. That's sort of kind of what happened. We tried a zip line and it didn't quite work, but it didn't end as tragically. But for Melanie, it falls over and she gets her ear cut off. And so that's sort of in her backstory. That's where that develops a lot of her bitterness. That's based loosely on a story of my actual first girlfriend, but it had to do with riding horses in the mountains and falling off the side of the mountain. It's a whole complicated story. I've used the actual horse story. She's shown up as characters just many, many different times, but that's based partly on, we never had a tragedy with the zip line, which I'm sure if you dig up this ground, you might find a rope somewhere from the old zip line. That might be it right down there. But we had a slip and slide right over there, and we used bricks to weigh it down, and my brother bashed up in his leg, which is a traumatic memory. It didn't happen to me, but it's a traumatic memory. And so I sort of transferred that to, I sort of mashed a lot of stories together. But dredging up memories like that, like really tragic or painful or viscerally resonant memories, is not to get rid of them. I would never, as horrible as it was, I would never want to get rid of any of the memories of my tragic first relationship. And something as simple as my brother busting open his leg on a slip and slide, I wouldn't want to get rid of that. I wouldn't want to exercise that. I would never want my brother to bust open his leg on a brick, on a slip and slide. I would never wish that for the future. But to bring it back up, the feelings of that, it's a way of accessing strong feelings, whether they're positive or negative. It's a way of accessing strong feelings. And so I think that's ultimately a mistake a lot of people make about negative feelings is, I'm sure I'll have to address catharsis. Catharsis is just a misconception. There's people over there. I might wrap it up. That would be my preview for next time. We'll talk about catharsis next time. I can't access a whole lot of my house right now, but there's my old basketball goal. I might do this just real quietly. I'm not doing anything illegal, I swear. There's not a whole lot of ways. Oh, I guess this is kind of a path right here. I think I think that might be wood from my old tree house. There's my house over there. It's in bad shape. I had a lot of dreams. One of my most significant dreams was located right here. I had a dream of giant apocalyptic deer destroying the world, and they came right through here. But yeah, I can't go very much farther. But yeah, I'll go into more detail later. This will have to just be a short one. Have a good day. Bye.